Alright, everybody, this is Abel Loza, and joining me as always is CJ.
Hello.
This is the last episode 6 of the Nerds Watch, where we take a look at the last season of Game of Thrones and we break it down episode by episode. So CJ and I, we just got done watching the last episode, so CJ kind of has a look on his face. What did you think?
I am disappointed, to be honest with you.
Why is that specifically?
Jon's my rightful king. Not Bran. Bran? Really Bran?
He was the odds-on favorite to win at the beginning of the season when they had the Vegas odds that Bran was going to...
Really?
Yeah, I saw that coming. You might have been the only person not to see that coming.
I didn't see that coming.
Really?
No. Why would you see that coming? Who saw that coming?
A lot, because he was a three-eyed raven. Like a lot of people saw that, that he was going to be the all-seeing king.
That guy was stuck in a tree. I thought Bran was going to end up stuck in a tree, which is where I would have put him.
I don't mind him not being. And honestly, I don't mind Jon not being the king because I think we've talked about it before in other episodes. He's been taking so many L's.
Dude, this whole series is just L for Jon. That's it. He took the biggest L. I mean, I would have rather they killed him.
Jon?
Yeah.
No, I don't think you can kill him.
I would have rather him died a valiant death than was he gonna get old and gray on the wall and not do anything cool for the rest of your life. Awesome, sweet, thanks guys.
I don't mind it as much as you.
If there's no one to fight, there's peace with the wildlings. There doesn't even need to be a wall, and they just sends Jon to a life of boredom, and Jon Snow does not belong.
It's
to do a life of boredom.
It's now that I'm thinking about
a
it,
bunch of cunts.
It's the Dark Knight where he takes the fall, where Batman takes the fall, and him killing Harvey Dent.
Batman has a path to redemption. Jon Snow does not.
As far as you know. And actually, in an earlier episode, I said that if they end the season or if they end the series with the king was inside of us all along, people were gonna die.
What they did.
And that's basically what they did. So to kind of recap the episode,
people would know it.
Yeah, we're in the. If you're listening to this, you probably but we start with the fallout of Daenerys torching King's Landing. She basically has her sight sets to quote unquote liberate all of Westeros and the known world.
Liberate the fuck out of some people.
Yeah, sure. No shit. And so Tyrion throws his little pin hand of the queen down the stairs and's like, "Now fuck you! You burned down an entire city." Daenerys then takes him hostage. And then Jon has a conversation with him while he's captured, saying, and what ends up happening there is Tyrion convinces him to do what's best for the realm and kill Daenerys. And so we have this scene, I think a beautiful fucking scene, no matter what you think of what actually happened. So Jon goes up to her queen chambers or whatever you want to call it. Now that it's nothing. And Daenerys doesn't even get to sit on the throne. And I asked you think butt cheeks get on the seat? And you're like, I don't know. And so sure enough, she touches it, which I think is kind of poetic a little bit. Like, she fought so hard, she barely touches it. And then Jon plays the, you're my queen, so they make out incest again. And then Jon stabs her with one of the, what are those things called the Ninja Turtles have?
A sai.
A sai. Kills her. The dragon knows basically that Jon killed.
He knows immediately. It's crazy.
Yeah. I think they're more sentient and conscious than they give off, or that we think of anyways. And takes the body, never to be seen again. At the end of the episode, I'm kind of skipping ahead a little bit as far as the dragon. They don't know where it's at. So Bran kind of like does this Undertaker thing. He rolls his and his three-eyed raven thing, and he goes searching for him. So then we cut to a couple weeks later. Jon is taken hostage as well because the Unsullied aren't too happy that they killed their queen. So the fallout of that is Bran becomes king. They all decided on him. Everybody but Sansa, who is the Queen of the North, who they are now an independent kingdom. I do like that.
Yeah, me too.
They always feel like they were kind of the outcast of the Seven Kingdoms. So they're their own thing. Arya, I really like this. Arya is kind of
that's the coolest.
That is the coolest part of this entire thing. That Arya set off to be an explorer because she asked John, like, what is past Westeros? And they're like, I don't know. Then she's like, that's right. All the maps end at Westeros. So that's cool.
I would watch the series of Arya's
I would-
Wester than Westeros.
I was gonna
Adventures.
tell you when we were watching, but I would rather save it for this. That I would. That's the one. If they're gonna do spin-offs off of this and whatever, like that's the one show that I'm tuning into.
I don't think they'll do it.
I don't think so either.
But
if they're
fuck,
gonna,
that'd be cool.
if they're gonna
They
do,
set it up to where they should.
yeah. Sansa, like I said, Sansa ends up being Queen of the North. Tyrion becomes Hand of the King again, and his kind of round table are Bronn, Brienne, Sam. Who else am I missing?
You are missing
And Sir Davos.
Podrick. Sir Davos.
No, Podrick wasn't there. Oh yeah, he was. Yeah, he was because he wheeled off the king. So that's kind of his.
We're missing one, I think. But
No, because it was Tyrion and then 4 and then Bran and then Podrick took him off. So, and that's basically the last we see of them. And then the series ends with the three remaining Starks because let me fix this. Okay, the Bran obviously he's the king, and so he's left there. And we see the three Starks kind of going on their own route. And I forgot this part.
they're all leaders of people,
yeah.
which is what that was trying to convey,
Yeah.
which is pretty cool. But
the part I forgot is so John is taking like I said, he's taken captured by the Unsullied because they're not happy. So they're trying to broker a deal of what to do. So they're willing to release Tyrion, but they're not willing to release Jon because Jon he's a traitor to them, to her queen. So the quote unquote happy medium they were able to find was send him up north to the Night's Watch because if you go, you either kill him, you're going to start a war with the Northmen. If you let him go, you're going to start a war with the Unsullied. So the only thing they can do is release him to the Night's Watch, which was my only pushback this episode because you called it right away, and I was waiting to see how it ended. To see, maybe it's more of a search and rescue kind of thing. I don't know. I guess they're leaving that open ended. I don't know, but I don't know what the deal. I don't know what's the need for the Night's Watch now that the Night King is dead. So
the whole thing was wildlings,
which are allies,
which are their allies, and then White Walkers, and who are all dead.
Maybe.
So what the fuck are we even doing?
And it's left for interpretation, but the way I'm gonna be okay sleeping tonight thinking about it is, I think it's 7, and because when you see a map in the books or when they describe the map, they don't know too much far north. Maybe it's an exploring mission.
Maybe.
Yeah, but yeah, I think it's the you live yourself, or you either die yourself. You die hero, or you see yourself long enough to become the villain kind of thing. Even though Jon didn't become a villain, he's more of
I like that the world just lives off of Batman quotes, but that's okay.
They just watched The Dark Knight over and over as they were writing the season. So,
no, but we all do that. Everyone in his that movie changed everything.
It does. It's the best movie ever.
That's funny.
But okay, so I mean, what are some more thoughts then as far as why you didn't like it? Is it the Jon thing?
Yeah.
Or was there more?
Put Jon. Okay, when Drogon was trying to burn everything down.
Oh yeah.
How fucking cool would it have been to burn Jon Snow and they just fucking comes out of a dick swing and fucking still alive? That would have been so cool.
It would have been cool, but I think.
Oh, but then, well, I mean, you do run into problems like you still have a dragon that's pissed at you. What does he do? Just eat him or something? But I don't know. Maybe the dragon looks at him differently or something. And maybe the people look at him different. I don't know. Just something.
I think at that point in time, the dragon was more interested in his mom, in Daenerys, than whatever.
Fair enough.
And there was some symbolism of the dragon kind of blowing the Iron Throne. I think is what he's thinking. If she's not going to sit on it, nobody's going to sit on it. So, for a second, we think that he's going to burn down Jon, but he just ends up fucking laying waste to
wouldn't that have been cooler? That's how we find out.
But you have to weigh between cooler and better.
I don't think it was better.
I don't have as much.
Are you satisfied with that?
I am, because at first when the episode ended, I'm like, okay, so what's the night? I really wasn't giving thought to Jon, but as we were kind of getting ready for the show and stuff, I was thinking about it, and Jon ultimately is that character that does the greater good for for everything, not for himself. He has the entire show.
What's the greater good of putting him on the wall? There's nothing to protect.
It starts a war.
Oh, I see.
You know what I mean?
Saying, yeah.
So he has to swallow his pill for the greater good of the realm. Basically, what Varys was talking about. So he's always done that. He's always done it. He's always had to take his lumps, and it's just full circle. It's full circle for him. It sucks, and that makes him such a tragic character, I think.
Well, I don't want Jon Snow to be tragic. I want to be heroic. He's the most deserving out of any of them.
But we know he's a hero.
It's not enough.
Well, how fucking tragic is it that they wrote the book from Fire and Ice? They actually like a kind of wink, wink, poke, poke, which is funny.
Left out Tyrion.
Yeah, and they left out Tyrion. That I think is more tragic than anything else. He had probably the biggest hand to play in all of it, besides Jon and Daenerys, and he's not even in the history. When people go and research this, his name is nowhere to be found. Yeah. That I think is more tragic because people will remember Jon Snow. They won't remember Tyrion. Yeah,
he's in there, probably.
Yeah,
you're right. Still though, I don't know. It just leaves a bad. As soon as
sit on it for a day, and then I'm gonna text you.
As soon as Tyrion says, "I choose Bran," I'm like, dude, I hated it from then on. Like, I didn't hate it, but yeah, I hated it. It's like, dude, ruined it.
I didn't mind it. I like I said, I think Jon is ultimately the
only way I'm made happy is if they do make a really good Arya series out of it, which they won't. But
yeah.
That's the only way I become happier than I am right now.
Okay, so let's go off that thread. How can you possibly get to Jon being king and him being like, yeah, let me be king?
Oh no! I'll be fine with him being on the wall. Whatever. I just want to see more Arya. That's it.
Well, no, I'm giving you the laptop now, and you're like, okay, CJ, you're up to the point where he kills Daenerys. Mm-hmm. How would you make it to where he gets to be king?
Oh, dude, they find out he's a dragon, and maybe someone solely would have to die. I don't really know. I would have him face off with Grey Worm, probably. Have him beat Grey Worm, and maybe make him give a big speech about this. Is this liberation? Something like that. Look around you, everything's ash, and we're really calling that liberating. And they rally behind Jon Snow.
I don't think it's that easy.
That's how I do it. Well, but I would have had that in mind throughout the entire series, or not necessarily, maybe not the series, but the season. I would have had. If you gave me a couple episodes to write, or I guess season to write it, I would have done something cool.
Yeah, and
something cooler.
I think ultimately the way it ends is because of the way the season was built up, as far as how that goes, and I don't think that sits well because Grey Worm was such a devout, Daenerys follower that I don't think like a rousing speech, rah one for the Gipper is going to turn that around.
Probably not.
You know what I'm saying?
But you're giving me that little bit of thing to work with. Like I said, if I had an entire season to work with, I straighten it out better.
You're right. Well, and okay, so we can talk specifics on the episode, but we can talk on the season as a whole now. Now that we've seen the whole episode, and that's why I've reserved judgment as far as like what I think of the whole.
Me too. Really.
The whole season. I'm like, it's going to be impossible to try to remember and rank them in seasons, and that's not here. But I guess on a scale,
I can tell you right now, season 4 is my favorite season.
I like season 6. Season 6, Battle of the Bastards.
Oh yeah,
and all that stuff. Yeah. So
that's pretty good.
Season 4 is the Red Wedding, right?
That's season 3. The end of season 3.
Is it?
Yeah.
I might rewatch this.
Season 4.
I should have rewatched this before the last season.
Season 4, Joffrey dies, which is just so good.
Dude, in like the middle of the season too. It's not like a season ender,
What else? Something else big that I'm totally blanking on, which sucks.
Anyways.
Fucking. That's the season that Tyrion kills his dad, isn't it?
Oh, that is? Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah. All right. So we're not going down memory lane, but what ultimately will be your...
When's a better time? season.
What ultimately will you be your lasting impressions of this last season? I think we both agreed. I guess I asked you a question. I'm going to cut you off. But I ultimately, no matter whether you think you liked it in the middle or completely fucking trashed it, we can all agree on one thing. We do feel like it was rushed. Like 6 episodes wasn't enough. Most seasons were what, 12 episodes?
10.
10, right?
They were all 10 except for the last 2.
This season could have done for another 4 episodes. Yeah. Another episode for the battle with the White Walkers. Another episode for the King's Landing. You know, and then just an episode of story building. You know, and then you give yourself more time to breathe. Which I don't know whose decision that was. If it was showrunners like, hey, we can do this in 6, or HBO was like, hey, we're gonna cut it off at 6. I find it hard to believe that
HBO. I think I heard. I don't know if this is all hearsay. I suppose you'd say. I heard that HBO was down for how many ever they wanted, and the showrunner said, "We got this in 6." So
I think that's
they wanted more. HBO wanted more episodes.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. Like, this is whether you're gonna like this episode or not, it's gonna be the highest rated thing ever on television.
Yeah, HBO wanted more episodes. Yeah. That's what I've heard. I heard that. Where did I hear that? I think on Libtard show they were talking about.
Oh, really?
It. And somebody had said that HBO tried to get them to do more episodes, and they were like, "Yeah, we got this in 6." Which tells you what they're probably. I mean,
well, it's
they're looking at big. I don't know about bigger things, but different things.
Well, it's not a rumor; it's confirmed that they're doing the next Star Wars trilogy. So maybe they were just getting ready to get. But man, I don't know. When you've built such,
that's what I would
when
think,
you've built when it's your baby, you know.
Maybe you're just tired of your fucking baby.
And I don't think that's it. I think they honestly think they had it in 6. Like, I think people were gonna buy into everything that they were trying to feed them, and I think there's a lot of pushback, which, for good or bad, whether you agree or disagree, it's whatever.
Well, regardless of really what I think about this last episode, because like you said, I've been on board this whole time. No matter really what, well, I wouldn't say no matter what, but really. Knowing what I know now, it's still the best show I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, for sure. Like, there's been a lot of tweets that I've seen throughout the day, and I didn't get on Twitter very much because I was doing yard work. But they were like, you know, it really doesn't matter how we get there, but it was a fun fucking journey, and this is the best show ever. And I agree.
It's the best show I've ever seen in my life.
It's
probably
really good.
like you said, probably true for a lot of people. You?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. And I was late to the game, which is unfortunate because I am emotionally invested, but not as emotionally invested as somebody that started the show in like 2010 or 2011. You know, CJ.
You had to, dude. It's so like Dustin sent that picture or whatever of how we need to make kids wait after watching Infinity War for Endgame.
Yeah.
I did that after every fucking season since season 3. I started at season 3, and then the Red Wedding, whatever episode after, and now I have to wait an entire year. Almost a year, at least a year every time. That sucked. That fucking sucks.
Between 7 and 8, it was 2 years.
Yeah. Bro, it sucks. I was having this conversation with Dustin.
Who randomly made one appearance last week.
But I fought with him like the entire time to watch it, you know, like for this whole time, and he binged it in like the last month. And I watched it. I watched a lot of it with him. And I was getting mad because he was like texting and stuff like when he was watching it. I'm like, what the fuck?
Appreciate this.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I was talking to him. I was realizing, you know what? Like, it's different for you. Like, I'm expecting you to care as much as I do, and that's impossible. Like, I was like, I had to marinate in these long stretches of fuck, like thinking about, oh my god, what's gonna happen? What's happened?
I want to meet somebody that was there for the first season.
My friend Uriel, he was.
But did he read the books?
No.
See, so
you could probably talk to Whitney.
Well, no, what I would be more interested in Uriel because he didn't know what was coming.
Right.
Whitney knew the Red Wedding was coming, and
right.
you know, I wanted where somebody started the first season, and they're like, you know what, like I really dig this.
Good point.
Oh shit, Ned Stark, whoosh, and then it's like, oh fuck, Arya's lost, and all, you know, so it's like. Now I gotta wait a year for this. So although you started season 3 and that's pretty long ago, like I want to know.
Well, I watched the first 2 seasons together, and I started my own. I was there for damn near the beginning, not quite. I watched it with him, starting with season 2, and season 3 is just where I branched out on my own.
Oh, okay.
For myself.
Okay, I got you.
But I wasn't really that I wasn't crazy about it until probably season. I don't know. I kind of was though.
You know, a lot of people,
I don't know.
a lot of people's least favorite season is at least the first half of season 1. I really like that. I like this slow build, like
Me too.
with Robert Baratheon and.
That season was fun.
I love that season. That season was really good. Yeah.
I think of it as being fun. Like Robert Baratheon was a fun character.
Yeah, he was.
Like, that dude was cool.
Yeah.
I miss him sometimes, to be honest. Like just as a character, like I don't know.
Say what you will, he had a stable kingdom.
No shit.
Yeah, after he died, all hell broke loose. You know what I mean? So
you damn right.
yeah.
Robert was cool. I saw it might have been you on Twitter or something. Maybe you retweeted something, but it was like, who was your favorite one season star or whatever?
No, it wasn't me. I don't think.
Oh, somebody on Twitter
Yeah.
was like, who was your favorite season star? Like the star of a season, and it was between like the Viper, Robert Baratheon, Ned Stark. I might choose Robert, to be honest.
Mine will always be Ned. Like Ned.
I love me some Ned.
Yeah.
Don't get it twisted.
Like Ned, I think is ultimately like what Jon is, and he's the, he's always gonna put others before himself. So.
But Robert's funner.
Yeah, for sure. He's more fun.
I'd rather hang out with Robert.
So, get back to the tangent that before we got on the tangent. What did you think of the season then? Ultimately,
I'm here for it.
Taking it all of it into account.
To be honest, overall, give it an A.
Yeah,
I really would.
Yeah, and I guess where I was getting with the rush is like, yeah, we all agree it's rush, but I am more on the side of. I bought a lot of it. And I enjoyed it visually. And I was telling you, this is the best season that we've seen. Visually, the battle between or the Clegane, as a lot of people were calling it, that was amazing. The cinematography on that was amazing. The whole King's Landing, whatever you thought of that, it looked amazing.
Yes.
This last episode with the ashes looking like snow, like that was amazing looking. Even the battle for Winterfell was dark, but whatever we were able to get to see was I liked it. So
me too. Yeah, I think people made too big of a deal out of that, to be honest. But
yeah, I agree too. And that's just the thing with social media. People are they're quick to fucking bitch and stuff. But ultimately, good looking season. No matter what you think of the writing or whatever this season, you can never fault the actors. The actors gave it 110% this season.
This is a lot of good acting.
Peter Dinklage, John Harrington, Kit Harington.
Lena Headey.
Macy Williams, Sansa Stark is
Sophie Turner.
They all turned out really good performances. Even Bran, to be the guy that plays Bran, he has a look, and he has to act it out. So
this is like when we're gonna look back on this in 20 years and be like, holy shit, they got all those people to do that.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
It's all gonna stem from this.
Well, I mean,
it's gonna be kind of like Parks and Rec.
Yeah, dude, they all. Well, have you heard that Le Batard interview where they're like?
Yeah, that's where I got that. Yeah,
where they're on the room and they're like, yeah, everybody's gonna be a big fucking star after this.
Yeah, I think that's what's gonna happen.
I think so too. Well,
it's already happening for Sophie.
Yeah, Sophie Turner's doing the X-Men movie.
And Lena Headey kind of, she's been a movie star.
Yeah, the one thing I remember her from was they did a Terminator TV show that a lot of people liked.
But she was in The Purge.
She was in The Purge, yeah.
She was in something else. I've seen her in something else.
Yeah.
I can't remember what.
Like I was telling you, I saw her from the Terminator TV show, and a lot of people like that. But it was too high budget for a TV show, so they ended up canceling it. She was what's her name? Sarah Connor. Yeah. So, but yeah, no, she's already an actress, pretty, well known. But yeah, people are gonna come up from this.
Jamie, what's his name? Nikolai.
Yeah, I think he's gonna get a lot of roles after this. Yeah.
All of these people are gonna.
It's unfortunate that some of them are older, which sucks. But yeah,
Sam's a good actor.
Sam is a good actor.
I know his name. I'm not gonna think of it.
Sam, and so you're talking about. But yeah, it's I think the actors are gonna come from this and. Winning, I think. Well, we'll talk about it tomorrow, but Braun was in John Wick, so he, I think is going to be a pretty good actor, so. Or and a lot of these people, they're British, so they're classically trained actors.
Well, they're fucking good.
So yeah, they're really good.
They're almost as good as Tom Holland. I don't know. They're probably as good.
But yeah,
I just wanted to name drop Tom
you can't fault the actors for whatever you think of this season.
That's absolutely true. The one thing that might suck for them is that it's hard to separate.
They're gonna be typecasted.
Yeah. I might look at Lena Headey and hate her forever.
Well, we watched Solo for the show, and you couldn't watch it because you're like, oh, I've seen her naked because Emilia Clarke was in that.
Yeah. And that actually, the guy who plays Joffrey, he's quit acting
Yeah.
because
You know where another movie that Joffrey's in? He's in Batman Begins. He's a little kid that Batman saves.
no kidding.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
No, and he's quit acting because people are just like, I fucking hate this kid. Yeah, that's.
I mean, yeah, it's insane.
Yeah.
So that actually might suck for them, but
So speaking of Emil Clark, what we didn't touch on this point. What did you think of the way Daenerys' arc ended?
I'm happy about it. Honestly, I thought that's what was going to happen anyway. Actually, I mean, I can't be the only one who thought Tyrion was going to kill her.
I never thought that.
I did.
I think for the start to make sense, it has to be Jon. If anybody was going to kill her, Jon. Second place, Arya.
But that would have been a wrench to throw. That would have been an easier way to make Jon king. They don't resent him for killing the queen, and he's the natural successor.
You really wanted Jon to be king?
Yeah,
huh?
dude, I love Jon Snow. I will always love Jon Snow. Aegon Targaryen, whatever.
I don't think.
Jon Snow is one of my favorite characters in media.
Just his personality, I don't think he could have been king. I don't see that fit.
Every time they did it, he was great.
Yeah, but he was always like, I don't want to be king of the North. I don't want to be Lord Commander. Like,
whether he wanted it or not, he was great at it.
Yeah, but this is like the big enchilada.
Bran didn't want it either.
Well, Bran was like, "What do you think I came all the way down here for?" He knows, dude. He knew that he was going to be king this entire time.
Yeah, that's true. It's weird. I don't like it. Just you stick your ass in a tree and sit there for eons, which like you're supposed to. Makes you special.
One thing I did have pushback that I think a lot of people had pushback on the internet was, but I never bitched about it, was Jon never petting Ghost. And he finally did this season, dude.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was, or not this season, this episode. And that to me was like, oh, dude, that felt so good.
That was pretty cool.
And I
it probably would have been better for me if I wasn't deep in like, god damn it, territory. Like
arms crossed.
Yes, but it was pretty cool. After I know that right then, I started like, maybe it's not so bad.
Well, they asked the cinematographer, like, or the CGI guy or whatever, like, why didn't he pet it? And he's like, we didn't have enough money. I just don't think he wanted to say like, wait, finish the season.
Shit, yeah.
So I think he had a good cop out or whatever. So yeah, ultimately how this season's it's gonna be. If anything, it makes me want to watch it all over again.
Me too.
To
Actually, what I was thinking as it was ending is more than anything, it makes me want to read the books.
Yeah.
I want to see how the books end.
For sure. And this is coming from somebody who's like, I'm not going to read them.
Yeah, well.
You can audiobook them, man. Just download the app and buy the book for $20.
I'll just read it, probably. But,
I'm going to audiobook it.
If George R. R. Martin knows to put Jon on the goddamn throne, and
No, you're the one that told me that he told the showrunners how it ends. So
but maybe they didn't use that.
We'll see. There's only one way to find out when those books come out in 50 years. I give Avatar shit, but like the last book came out in like 2001 or whatever. Yeah.
I'm not sure. You would know more better than me. I don't know.
The first one came out in 90. I have them right there. Look.
Where is it?
Up right next to that Kansas book. You're legit pointing it with your index finger further that way. There you go. That's the first one.
Jesus. He's older than I thought.
Jasmine found those at a garage sale for free. They was in a basket, and it just take them. And I'm like, for real?
97.
Nice.
21 years ago. 22 years ago. Wow. That's crazy, man. I do want to read this.
I think I'm going to read it, too. I will reread it. I got to like 3/4 of it.
This is wonderful. Cool. Yeah, read that bitch.
Yeah, so... Yeah, ultimately, it sits good with me, and I think kind of what we touched upon earlier. This is one of the if not the best show. We can safely say it's the best show ever.
Yeah.
There's so many iconic things that came from the season that, and it wasn't only a show. It was like, especially this last season was like a phenomenon. No matter what you thought people were gonna watch, all 6 episodes.
Yeah.
So, it was. I enjoyed it. Maybe there's some things I think everybody would have done different. Obviously, Jon being on the throne.
But it's not even that he's. It's not even necessarily that I would put him on the throne, but I would do him a lot better than sending him off to watch. Like I wouldn't be upset if like. It's not like it's like maybe Tyrion ends up on the throne. I'm okay with that, and I'm not even like that against Bran. Just to send Jon to. It's like the series. The series could have been called "Fuck Jon Snow," like that. Honestly, like we've talked about it. How many L's does this poor dude take?
He's got to take the biggest L though, man. He has to. I think.
Can someone else take an L for once? Like
poetically, I think it ended perfect. I do. Not many people are going to see it as the perfect ending because Sopranos, Breaking Bad, but
I don't think people like the ending for Sopranos.
Yeah, because it just kind of ends. But I think it ended perfect for how those arcs were going to go. So
yeah, I mean, I guess
sit on it. Whenever you come over tomorrow to do John Wick, I'll ask you again.
Okay.
You might have watched it again, so I don't know.
Maybe. What became of that thing that Arya was holding? The Varys, Varys' note or whatever. That was kind of weird.
No, that was a plot hole, isn't it? You know, it was another plot hole.
That's what I was waiting for.
You know, it was a plot hole. The whole Braun thing that he was out to set the light.
Not necessarily a plot hole, but it's certainly an omission.
Yeah. Well, I guess the writers wanted you to believe that. Oh nope, they bought him off. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, whatever. We can nitpick whatever we want, but ultimately, I think as a whole, TJ and I don't know if it's the minority anymore or the majority. I haven't been on Twitter very much since the season ended, but and fuck it. Form your own opinion of what you thought of the season and the episodes and stuff like that. But yeah, if anything, well, first let us know what you thought of the episode, and then let us know what you thought of the season. Comments, DM us.
Let us know what you thought of the series.
Yeah, as a whole. And it's ultimate. This is going to sound corny, but it's the journey, not the destination. I think, and the journey for the Game of Thrones was
a shitload of great characters.
Amazing.
Cool storylines.
And shout out to George R.R. Martin to create this world, that they could build. Into one of the most interesting, emotionally invested, like legit looking back at this season, I don't think I've ever cheered for a child to get murdered more than I did when Joffrey died, or ever more.
Name your 3 favorite characters.
Jon Snow, for sure. Arya, for sure. Trying to think. No long gaps in podcast. I'm trying to think.
Fucking.
Probably Ned.
Ned?
Yeah.
Jon Snow, Arya, the Hound.
The Hound was badass.
Badass.
He always had a quippy, cunty comeback. Yeah,
yes,
yeah, cunt.
That was cool. Who taught you that shite? I love that. He's so good.
He was good.
I've been spending all day for some reason thinking about the Hound. I don't know why.
There's a super cut. I think
I've seen it.
No, you've seen it. Yeah,
it's awesome.
Fucking funny. Yeah. Alrighty. Well, yeah.
You know what joke's been going through my head all day
what?
for some reason? Whenever she's saying her list, they're like sleeping there. Like, what's this list? List of every fucking person in Westeros. That's just funny, dude.
It was really funny.
Anyway, sorry.
All right, no. Well, that'll do it for this special edition series that we talked about the last season of Game of Thrones. Like I said, let us know what you think of the season, series, episode. All in the comments, DM us, whatever, in person. We can put you up on the show. But you have anything else?
Nope. Just go watch it and enjoy it.
Yep. All right. Our Nerds Watch is ended.
Well, we'll never get it right again.
Yep. I don't have another opportunity to get it wrong, actually. But yeah,
we'll never get it wrong again.
Yeah. Listen to the show on the feed. This will be on the regular feed, so will the regular show. But our Nerd Watch is ended. All right, bye, guys.
Bye.
Got it right.